What up, fam? We just want to take a second to thank you for the overwhelming love on the last video we just dropped. This is the hardest topic that I've had to cover for multiple reasons. This is something I used to just laugh at. This is a topic I used to just laugh at on his face and dismiss it, right? But then I had to do like the Bible says at Romans 12:3 and humble myself. I compare it to finding information about these purple lights that was popping up in my neighborhood, right? Right down the street is a shopping center with all the lights purple. I'm like, this ain't making nobody safer. Like, what's the real reason behind this, right? Finding information about the video I just dropped was a million times harder, but then I figured out why, family. I figured out why. They literally had congressional meetings on this topic with social media platforms, right? Actively telling them when somebody search for these results on this topic, I need you to give them the opposite answer. Let me repeat that. Our government literally had congressional meetings with YouTube and other social media platforms telling them if somebody searches for information on this topic, they are to give the opposite search results. Why would you need to do that? Now, the last time our government cooperated with social media websites to censor information was with the vaccines. That's the last time I remember them doing this. So already my red flags was going off. Nobody's going to prioritize your family like you are. So we got to look out for each other and stop giving our blind faith to these people who are calling themselves scientists and doctors just because they got on a white coat. So let me ask you a logic question, family. If you told somebody you had $10, right, and they handed you a piece of paper and it was like, hey, I wrote down a math equation of how you have $10, does it automatically make what he wrote down factual because he could just explain how you would have $10? No, it does not make his equation right just because he can write down how a person could have $10, right? What do you have? Do you have 10 ones? Do you have 2 fives? Do you have one $10 bill? So just because somebody could write down an equation explaining how you could have $10, that doesn't make it the physics, okay? That doesn't change what you are holding in your pocket. That same logic transfers over to science, right? Explaining something just on paper just because you got the math right is just kinematics, right? Being able to explain something just using math does not equate it to being the actual facts of the physicality of it. Okay, just because you can explain it in math, that doesn't automatically make it true. There's another claim called the dynamics. The dynamics is the why something is true. Okay, what is the actual fact of the matter? You got 2 fives. Okay, that's how you have $10. So that's kinematics, being able to explain with just writing something down, and then the dynamics is the how. So the question is, how would you get the dynamics, right? You would have to go into that person's pocket and check the actual money and see how he has $10, right? I mean, it's logic, but this is very important fact right here because this is what science do today. Okay, they just give us a whole bunch of cute little writings and equations on paper and say, well, this is what you need to believe because I can make it work on paper. But when you actually test it out, family, it falls flat on its face. So basically, give me dynamics or go sit down somewhere. I'm mentioning that because that's exactly to the T what these mainstream scientists have done. Okay, they say we blasting 500,000 miles an hour through the galaxy, and here's some math. Okay, just believe me, here's the kinematics, right? But like I said, we don't want no kinematics, we want the dynamics. Okay, what does the actual test say? Okay, what does your science say, right? What would you do, family, if I told you that Einstein and other scientists said, well, we don't have any dynamics to prove it, right? We want to believe this on philosophical grounds, family. Philosophical, I'm pointing right here because I might put the picture right here. Philosophical grounds, family. They say they want to be modest, okay, and to be immodest, to think that the sun goes around us. They say that we are nothing, so we have to be modest and say that we go around the sun. Like, that's the actual science. There is no dynamics, family. Even Einstein said, when they tried to test it out, they said there is no experiment we can do to prove that the earth is moving. But because we want to believe that the earth is moving in a circle and going around the sun, we just want to believe it anyway. That's not science. And the worst part about it is they've had hundreds of years to craft and tighten up the lie, right? They had years and years and years to polish up this lie to make it sound believable on the surface. Then they forced it in all of the school curriculum, making it mandatory that you have to learn about it, right? It wasn't that long ago when we had biblical earth in schools, right? But now they're not sanctioned. Now you have to go off of the mainstream Roman Catholic, Luciferian, Jesuit created Big Bang. And they got so slick with it too, because they went to religions and they were like, hey, we know you believe in God, we don't, we believe in the Big Bang, that nothing came along and exploded and now we have cars on the freeway and stuff like that. We'll let you keep your God and we want you to keep our magic. Okay, so the Big Bang says that just gas came out of nowhere, blew up to the universe from a single point, and then religions come and say, well, no, God made the single point blow up and now we have the black magic. But you see what I'm saying? If you are starting off with a corrupted position as the foundation, you will never get to the right answer. You will never get to the truth, because even religions are still using the black magic that the Jesuits created. They just say God started the spark in the beginning. But look into the actual dynamics, family. That's where it's at. That's where it's hidden at. It's hidden in the dynamics. Okay? Forget what your cute math says. What does the facts say? And the facts say, we ain't moving. And just real quick, once again, I want to thank you. My wife and I want to thank you. She's holding it down while I'm able to do all this research. So big shout out to her. All right, family, I'm going to catch you on the next video. We out.